Have you ever felt caught when you try to speak English, even understanding what the other person was saying? Have you ever felt your heart accelerate, your hands sweat, and the words simply disappear? You are not alone. This feeling of paralysis when speaking another language is more common than it seems. And believe me, it doesn't mean you're unable. It only means that they taught you the wrong way. In today's episode, we will change this story. You will find out, through an exciting narrative, how active listening and speech practice can really unlock your fluency. But before I start, let me tell you something important. Listening carefully is not just understanding the sound of words. It is to feel the intention behind them. It is realizing the rhythm, the emotion, the music of the language. And when you hear with your heart, speaking becomes natural. Just as you learned your mother tongue, first listening, then repeating, making mistakes and trying again, until one day, simply spoke. So if you think you don't have a gift to speak English, no. You just didn't find the right method. And the right method is the one who touches his soul, who talks to his emotions, and respects his time. Today, you will not just hear. You will feel. You will learn from the heart. And perhaps, for the first time, you'll realize that English can be yours. Intimate, possible. Oh, and if you already felt that I just described, if this beginning made sense to you, enjoy and subscribe to the channel. Leave it here in the comments what hangs you most when it comes to speaking English. I want to hear you, because here, your story matters. His name was Jake, a 24-year-old resident of a quiet neighborhood on the outskirts of Portland, Oregon. Jake has always been the kind of person who watched more than he was talking about. Shy, reserved, the kind that would rather hear others silent to risk saying something and seems strange. At school, he went well in English. He knew grammar, understood texts, took good grades in the tests. But there was a problem. He could never open his mouth to speak. Whenever the teacher called his name to answer a question, his body froze. Her heart pushed like an accelerated drum. And he thought, what if I make a mistake? And if they laugh at me? Time passed. He finished high school, got a job as an attendant in a local bookstore, and followed his life. The Englishman stayed there, like a reminder far from something he knew, but did not speak, until the day he met Rachel. Rachel was a tourist, American, from Chicago. Passionate about literature, he entered the bookstore looking for a rare book, Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. When Jake answered her, it was clear that she didn't say anything about Portuguese, and he needed to use English. His first sentence trembled, but came out, "Can I help you? Can I help you?" Rachel smiled and answered kindly, "Yes, I'm looking for poetry book. Yes, I'm looking for a book of poetry." Jake froze. The English words danced in his head, but they didn't go out of the lips. The shyness came back as a wave, swallowing his confidence. But Rachel continued, "It's called Leaves of Grass. Do you have it? If you call Leaves of Grass, do you have?" He took a deep breath and replied hesitantly, "Wait, I check. Wait, I check." Rachel smiled again, and in that smile, Jake found courage. Not because he knew how to speak perfectly, but because he felt something important he was communicating. Simply put, with short sentences, but it was. That day, something awakened in him. When Rachel thanked him and left the store, Jake felt his heart throb differently. He thought, what if I really tried? What if I practiced every day, even if it was for a few minutes? And he started. In the following days, Jake created a simple routine. Every day, before bed, he put the headphones, chose a soft song in English, and just heard. She sat on the porch, closed her eyes, and let the words come in without haste. When I heard phrases like, "I believe in dreams," "I believe in dreams," he repeated it low as who prayed. "I believe in dreams. I believe in dreams." In the beginning, I was ashamed of yourself, but over time, he began to like his own voice in English. He realized that he didn't need to be perfect. He needed to be constant. In a simple black cover notebook, he began to write down the phrases that most touched his heart. Repeated the same expressions every day. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You can do it. You can. Mistakes are part of learning. Mistakes are part of learning. And so, the shy Jake started talking. First to himself, then with videos on the internet. And one day, he took courage to comment on an English video on YouTube. I'm learning English by myself. I'm learning English alone. I was afraid, but I don't have it anymore. The answer came hours later from a complete stranger. Keep going, Jake, you're doing great. Continue, Jake. You're going very well. That was like a hug. Like a silent push that said, you are not alone. Jake continued. One day at a time. Repeated aloud. I won't give up. I will not give up. English is part of me. English is part of me. And over time, it was no longer just a practice. It was a transformation. If you are listening to this story now, maybe it's where Jake started. Maybe you feel locked, shy, insecure, but also maybe you're ready. Ready to take the first step. Ready to speak aloud. I can do this. I can do that. Repeat with me now, slowly. I believe in myself. I believe in myself. Once again, I believe in myself. Feel these words. Let them enter. Take a deep breath and say it willingly. Jake has not become an international speaker or a language teacher, but he became something even more important. Someone who speaks English with the heart. And that, no one can get it out of it. After a few weeks of lonely practice, Jake began to realize something curious. Her phrases in English no longer looked so strange. They began to sound family, almost natural. And most importantly, he no longer needed to strive so much to remember as they said. One morning, while having coffee, he heard an old song playing on the bookstore radio. It was something soft, with a male voice singing, "Don't stop believing. Don't stop believing." Jake smiled. For the first time, he not only understood, but sang along. In a low voice, still kind of shy. Don't stop believing. That night he made a decision. He would make it a daily habit. Learning English would no longer be a challenge anymore, but part of his routine. How to brush your teeth, how to bathe, how to breathe. It didn't matter if the day was good or bad, if she was tired or excited. He was going to hear English. Always. And so he began to use the technique that most changed his life. Active listening with emotional repetition. He not only heard the words, he felt every sentence. He repeated with intonation, with intention, as if he were living every dialogue. I am not afraid. I'm not afraid. I will keep trying. I will keep trying. Let's do this together now. Close your eyes for a few seconds and repeat with me aloud. I trust the process. I trust in the process. Once again, I trust the process. Feel each syllable. Pay attention to the sound of the TR in trust, in the rhythm of the sentence, in the firmness of words. The practice of diction is not only technical, it is presence. It is intention. Jake began to repeat phrases aloud during the bus route to work. With the headphones, he listened to small dialogues, repeated mentally. And in the most empty stretches of the route, I spoke softly. How are you today? How are you today? I'm doing great, thank you. I'm fine, thanks. He repeated several times until he felt that he sounded natural. And when I was wrong, just smiled and tried again. There was no judgment, only progress. At home, he created a small ritual. He chose a sentence of the day. I wrote in a post-it and glued it in the mirror. As he brushed his teeth, I read the sentence aloud, looking into his own eyes. I can speak English. I can speak English. Again. I can speak English. And once again, I can speak English. This phrase became a mantra, a daily memory that fluency begins in mind before reaching the mouth. One day, Jake was invited to a video chamada with an international reading group. He almost refused. He thought, what if I stop? But the voice inside him said, go with fear. During the call, he didn't speak much, but when it came to his turn, he said firmly, Hi, my name is Jake. I love reading poetry. I'm learning English every day. Hi, my name is Jake. I love reading poetry. I'm learning English every day. People smiled, some sent emojis. A lady from New York responded with an affectionate nod. That's beautiful, Jake. Keep going. This is beautiful, Jake. Continue. He turned off the call with his heart hitting hard. But it was a different beating. It was not fear, it was joy. He had communicated. He had won a giant who had lived inside him since he was a child. And that's when he started doing something new. Talking aloud along with the videos. We call it shadowing. He watched short videos with subtitles, put the phone and tried to repeat along with the native speakers. At first it was difficult, but with practice it became more natural. Let's try one now. Repeat with me, your way, with your intonation. I am learning. I'm learning. Now with more confidence, I am improving. I'm getting better. Once again, I am becoming fluent. I'm becoming fluent. Jake turned his fear into practice. His shyness became discipline, and your insecurity became an expression. The tip he gave to friends most was simple. Don't wait to feel ready. Start now. Speak now. Don't expect to feel ready. Start now. Speak now. And that's what I want to tell you today. It doesn't matter if your pronunciation is not perfect. It doesn't matter if you still forget words or pacifies in the middle of the sentences. What matters is that you are here, listening, repeating, feeling, and practicing. Talk to me once again as if it were Jake in the mirror, facing his own future. I believe in my voice. I believe in my voice. And yes, your voice matters. The world needs it. English is not an obstacle, it's just a bridge. And this bridge you have already started crossing. Jake was evolving. Each week his confidence grew. Not because he dominated all the verbal times of English, but because he felt he was really communicating. And it was at this moment of the journey that he knew the technique that would help him most overcome shyness. Shadowing. Shadowing literally means to add someone's voice. Like a shadow that accompanies light. This technique is to repeat exactly what a native speaker says, at the same pace with the same intonation. It's like singing along with a song, but with real life phrases. Jake learned this from an online teacher who said, "Fluency doesn't come from thinking too much. It comes from speaking without fear." Fluency doesn't come from thinking too much. She comes from talking without fear. And that's exactly what he started to practice. Every day, Jake chose a short video with simple phrases, a movie scene, an interview excerpt, an advertisement. He put the headphones, listened once, then squeezed play again, and spoke together. Good morning, how are you? Good morning, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. I am well, thanks. He didn't bother to understand everything. The goal was just to repeat, to feel the sound, let the English mold his mouth as if it were music. Now let's do it together. Repeat right after me. Today is a good day. Today is a good day. I am learning every day. I am learning every day. English feels easier now. English looks easier now. Jake also learned to use a technique called listening with intention. This means not only listening by listening, but paying attention to every detail. The rhythm of speech, the pause between words, the emotion in the voice. He said to himself, I'm not listening to a language. I'm listening to a soul talking. And so, each sentence was no longer an exercise, and became a feeling. One of the phrases that most marked Jake was, it's okay to make mixes. It's okay to make mistakes. Let's repeat this phrase now, with the heart, it's okay to make mixes. Once again, feel the truth of that. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present. Jake also started using the technique of emotional immersion. He chose scenes of movies that made him laugh, cry, or get emotional, and watched with full attention. Then he paused the scene and repeated the sentences aloud, with the same emotion as the characters. One of his favorite passages was from a movie that showed a farewell. I miss you. I will miss you. Take care of yourself. Take care of you. Jake spoke with teary eyes, imitating every detail. Because there, he was not just training English, he was living in English, and you can do the same. Choose a scene that emotes you. Listen with your heart. Then pause and say with feeling, I know I can from this. I know I can do that. Again, more certainly. I know I can from this. Jake realized that the more he put emotion in what he said, the more the language became natural. And the most amazing, he began to hear. He recorded audios of himself speaking simple phrases, then listened, corrected, tried again. Not like someone criticizing themselves, but as who is trained with love. He said, "Your voice is your teacher. Your voice is your teacher." Let's test this. Pause this video for 5 seconds, closes your eyes, and say aloud, "I can speak English." Now once again, I can speak English. Did you feel the difference? The strength of these words lives in your tone of voice, in the way you breathe, in the rhythm of speech. Jake wrote down these phrases on his cell phone and read aloud during the day. In the bathroom, in the car, even washing the dishes. Each sentence became a seed planted on the ground of its trust. And he also liked short sentences, rhythm, like poetry. I try, I fall, I rise. I try, I fall, I get up. Small steps, big dreams. Small steps, big dreams. My voice matters. My voice matters. Do you want to grow in English? So you need to hear more. It is not about knowing difficult words. It's about saying simple phrases with conviction. Jake understood this better every day. And when he talked to someone in English, he no longer trembled. Because he knew, I'm not perfect, I'm improving. I'm not perfect, I'm getting better. Now it closes this block with a statement of you. Speak firmly, as one who plants a new identity. I am not afraid anymore. I am not afraid anymore. I speak with my heart. I speak with my heart. I am becoming fluent. I'm becoming fluent. Take a deep breath now, and let the words hug you. You walked inside a story. Felt. He spoke. Learned. And even if your mind still doubt, your heart knows. Something has changed. You are no longer the same person who played this video. Because now you carry something new, a soft, almost silent certainty that you will get. And you know why? Because you are listening to more than your ears. You are listening with soul, with intention, with hope. And speak English, my friend, my friend. It's not about decorating phrases. It is about allowing yourself. It is about meeting again. It is about discovering that your voice can cross borders. You are capable. You are smart. You are ready. Now, closes your eyes for a moment. Whisper with faith, very softly. My voice is free. My voice is free. Once again. As who blesses the journey itself. I am growing, I am speaking, I am enough. I'm growing up, I'm talking, I'm enough. May these words stay with you today, as a soft prayer that accompanies you wherever you go. And in the next episode, let's walk through a new story. A new chance to train English. Not in a hurry, but with soul. Because here, you don't learn with pressure. You learn from the heart. If you got here, take a deep breath and feel this truth with your whole being. You are already learning English. Maybe you still don't realize clearly. Perhaps there is still doubts, fears, locks. But just being here, listening, repeating, feeling, you are already planting the seeds of the fluency that will flourish in you. Today you have found that you don't have to know everything to start. You just need to start. You saw that a shy Portland boy, who could hardly say hello, turned with small daily attitudes, listening with intention, repeating with emotion, talking with courage, one step at a time, one sentence at a time. And now, it's your turn. Don't wait for the right time. He has arrived. It's here now inside you. You do not need permission, nor approval. What you need is to believe that your voice has value, that she deserves to be heard, in any language. So today, even today, choose a phrase that touched your heart during this episode. Could it be, I believe in myself. I believe in myself. Or maybe, my voice matters. My voice matters. Choose the one that moved you the most and repeat aloud 3 times, with eyes closed, with your hand on your chest, with soul. This simple action repeated day after day is what will transform your English. And before you end, I want you to know, you are not alone on this journey. Here you have a safe space to make mistakes, try, smile, and learn. Each episode is more than a class. It's a date, with the language, with the practice, and especially with yourself. If this story touched you, if you saw yourself, you felt something different today, then do the following. Subscribe to the channel, activates notifications, and in the comments below, write what was the English phrase that marked you the most today, the one that made your heart beat faster. Because when you write, you say, and when you share, you inspire others. And remember, you are not here by chance. You are here because your English will flourish. And I will be with you in every step. Until the next episode, where we will dive into a new story once again to learn English with the heart.